Today we're going to be taking over the entire known world as the Pope, using an army only comprised of his overpowered inbred offspring knights. Hello Ottawans and Ottawans from around the globe. Today we're playing Crusader Kings 3. Now normally you would never be able to play as the Pope in this game, but using this fantastic mod, we're able to play as Pontiff Big Richard over here. Look at him, he's glorious, but he's got a dark secret. He is the anti-Pope. A Pope hellbent on power. A Pope willing to do anything for world domination. Forcefully taking land? No problem. Murdering people to get what you want? Forget about it. Seducing every person we see down to the last man, woman, or Oh yeah, I guess he's the anti-Pope. Seducing every last woman we see. Sure. Now to take over the entire known world, Big Richard over here is gonna need some land. Yes, to become the most powerful ruler ever, we'll need a small portion of the worst land on this map. The literal barren nothingness that is the medieval Sahara Desert. With close to zero development,
wow,
only one building in sight, and not a goddamn thing going for it. It's the perfect place to start taking over the world from, because desert land have these completely not broken at all buildings called camelries, which exponentially give you more and more knights the more you upgrade it. And if you were to say, I don't know, breed into the world a race of Herculean inbred bastards willing to lay down their life for you and you alone, well, who's to say you couldn't weaponize them and, I don't know, become an unstoppable force not even God himself could stand up to? So that's what we're doing today. Getting back to Pope Big Dick. Oh, come on, you gotta leave that in. The nickname for Richard is literally Dick. Okay, well, you'll notice I made him pretty overpowered. I gave him 69 stewardship.
Nice.
I made him a Herculean giant who's fecund, and I made him immortal, because this strat is going to take forever. Now, the first thing we want to do is actually make our way on up here to Iceland. So why do we want this piece of land anyways? Well, we'll want to meld our Italian culture here with the Norse culture. What? If you take a look, they are all Norse boys up here. Looking at the Norse culture, they have a sick custom here in performative honor. Not only does it increase the number of knights you can have, but it also allows you to make your daughters into shield maidens. Now, this basically makes any daughters we have gain an extra boost to their prowess and their martial. And we desperately need this because currently we have
no maidens.
So we'll go about taking Iceland. So I'm gonna go ahead and fabricate a claim up here, and we should be good to go in a little while. In the meantime, let's talk about being the Pope for a second. Now, right off the rip, we're making a ton of money. The Catholic Church is paying us taxes in the form of like 12 gold per month. Another great thing is because he's a theocratic ruler, he can actually hold temple holdings for himself, unlike normal rulers. We will pretty much never have to worry about money in this game. I'm also going to embrace celibacy for the time being. You're teasing me. We could always abandon it later, right? The other thing about playing as the Pope is there's these little decisions that pop up. So, for example, this seek indulgences. So the Count of Santiago over here comes to me and he goes, well, I try and be a good Catholic. I still stumble from time to time. As such, I wish to donate this sum of gold to the church. So essentially, he's gonna give me 100 gold, I'll give him 100 piety, and he'll be a happy boy.
Thanks for the money, idiot.
I'm gonna accept these all the time, and this is essentially infinite gold. Equally, we'll also get other pop-ups like this one, where they're asking for gold. They'll basically trade their piety for being such a good Catholic, and they want gold in exchange for it. Naturally, the Pope would definitely give them gold in their time of desperate need because they're such a good Catholic. But not the anti-Pope. The anti-Pope's gonna say hell no to that. Oh, Big Richard, he loves the money. Alright, so after a little while, we've got a claim on Iceland, see it done, and let's go ahead and go to war with her. Oh, beautiful, and in doing that, I got a valuable hostage, so let's go ahead and enforce these demands. Perfect. Okay, so we've got a ton of piety. We're able to go ahead and declare war on our neighbors here. Oh, and easy as you like, we take this holding, let's enforce our demands, and we have all of Iceland. I'm gonna make sure I grant it to a local Norse noble. For every Norse noble we grant territory to, it'll increase our cultural acceptance with the Norse. Each and every one of these holdings should be granted to a Norse noble. And I'm also going to grab my steward and make sure he's on promoting cultural acceptance in these lands. And honestly, being positive over here means that all we have to do is just wait it out until the acceptance is about 40, and then we can form the hybrid culture with them. Changing gears to the next part of our plan, let's look at the Sahara Desert. Now you can see here, if we take a look at the terrain, all down here is all desert. So I want to slowly and surely be taking a bunch of these territories so that we can take these holdings, hold them, and build camelries to start our nefarious plans. Now in total, because I made our stewardship 69 to start with,
Nice.
we're gonna have 14 domains, and we'll be getting a couple more along the way. So we're gonna need about 25 either temples or castles in desert territory. And basically, this whole first part of my life is going to be about taking territory and building it up. And the next part is going to be about developing a warlike culture that cannot be stopped. But there's a few steps to do before we talk about that. For now, we just need to declare war on this guy and start taking some holdings. They have more troops than us with their allies, but not with our holy order, I'll tell you that much. Let this tick over to 100%, beautiful. Let's go ahead and enforce these demands, so be it. Disband all. Oh my god, that looks so great. Now I still have a truce with this guy down here, but you know what? I'm the anti-pope, and the anti-pope doesn't wait for truces to be over. The anti-pope takes what he wants, and what he wants is this little bit of land right here. So we'll go ahead, we'll raise all our troops, walk on in, and absolutely smack this boy up. Oh my god, and that was such an easy clap. Let's go ahead and enforce the demands. Do you see all these requests for gold popping up? And I'm just ignoring them. That's so funny. Look at them all. Look at the papacy. We're controlling all this desert territory. This is actually going to be huge for us. Now in each one of these holdings, I'm going to go around and feudalize them, but then I'm also going to make sure that we are buying the camelries. And slowly and surely, we are going to be raising the level of our knights. And for our next dynasty legacy, I'm going to grab renowned name. Why? Well, it allows you to have at least one more knight. Now, I'm gonna flip over to the diplomacy tree and make my way on up to accomplished forger. What this will allow us to do is buy claims on artifacts, because the anti-pope doesn't make artifacts. He takes them, and he only takes the best of the best. We've also been able to pick up accomplished forger, so now we can go about buying some claims on artifacts, and I'm gonna look over to the Byzantine Empire and find my favorite artifact, the Crown of Justinian. Not only does this give us a monthly renown boost of 5%, but it also gives us a domain limit +1. And in the long run, that's gonna give us so many more knights, it's just stupid. So let's go ahead and buy a claim on that artifact. And now that we have that claim, we can go ahead and demand it, and he will accept, because his military is much weaker than ours. We're at 6,000 dudes, and he's only at 4,000. So let's go ahead and demand this bad boy.
Why you bullying me?
And our domain limit's gonna go from 18 to 19. Oh, we're in good shape. And I've switched on over to the intrigue lifestyle. I'm gonna pick up dark insights, which allows us to torture somebody and gain either intrigue or prowess from it. And as the anti-pope, I'm quite excited to use this. We still have our rival in our prison here, this fine young lady. Now, a normal good pope would ransom her off for demand or conversion, but we're not a normal good pope. I could listen to her scream for hours. And it looks like we gained 1 prowess from that. You'll love to see it. Okay, so the time has finally come. The year is 940 AD, and we are ready to go ahead and form our hybrid culture. We're gonna leave everything the same. The only thing we're gonna change are the traditions, and we're gonna make sure we have performative honor. Before we form the culture, we need a good name for it. Now, anybody looking at this man could tell one thing about him. He has got a huge set of feet on him. So naturally, we're gonna call it the Bigfoot culture. To a new age, a new era, and a new people. And now we don't need Iceland anymore, so I'm just gonna grant them independence.
Bye-bye.
And now if you take a look, the only place our culture is prevalent is here in Rome, our main capital. And that is phenomenal news, because if you look at the development, we're at 31 development for this age, which is crazy. And as you know, development directly impacts how fast we'll be able to research innovations. So what's gonna happen now is we're gonna fly all the way through this innovation tree. And that'll give us all the technologies we need to build our superhuman army. But I'll explain all of those in depth a little later. But for now, we have to move to the next step of my plan. Doing the sex. Now I need to start having some kids to make this army. So the first thing I'm gonna do is abandon celibacy. Who needs it? Let's get the old willy wet here. Why would I say it's so gross? Now, let's take a look at the way we designed Big Richard and why we designed him like that. Well, to start, we gave him the giant trait. We're trying to breed a race of superhumans, and we want them to have that crazy boost to their prowess. This also gives us a negative to our attraction opinion. So what I did was I also gave him Herculean. It gives us a huge boost to our attraction opinion. And gives a huge boost to prowess as well. So any kids we have, they're gonna be absolute beasts. We also made John lustful, which is a sin to Catholics, but what it does is increase his fertility by 25%. We also have the fecund trait, which increases our fertility by 50%. Not only that, we're in the temptation focus, so that increases our fertility by 20%, and trying to get the seducer perk, which also is going to give us a 20%. We've picked up iron constitution, which gives us a 30% increase. We're going to grab whole of body, which will give us another 20%. And we're also gonna make our way on up to Patriarch for an additional 20%. And if that wasn't enough, in the legacy tree, we're gonna pick up Bounteous Lloyds for a 10% boost to our fertility. I swear to God, we're gonna be able to look at somebody and get them pregnant. You telling me that's not a handsome young man, that mustache? Now the plan here is simple. Start seducing every courtier we have, especially ones with inheritable traits. Let's go ahead and just start seducing any of our guests that are reasonably young. Bruh, I meant like in the game, fertility declines over time.
Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that?
This woman's Hale. She's 30, so we should be able to get some kids out of her. Let's go ahead and seduce. Oh, and our lover is pregnant. I wonder how that happens.
Many months later.
A bastard born! My lover has given birth to a son, and we both know that I'm the father. The world must know of my child. I don't even care if they're gonna hate me, and it goes against everything the Catholic Church is about. For I am the anti-pope, torturer of prisoners, and seducer of women. And you know what I'm gonna do to this little bastard? I'm gonna make sure he goes down the martial education, and I'm gonna have someone educate him. And we've hit the midpoint of the video, and I have a very special offer for you today. For every like this video gets, I'll be seducing one person.
Good night, girl. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, that's right. I'm absolutely going to whore myself out. Even though I'm already kind of doing that, asking for likes and subscriptions right now. I'll seduce anyone. Her, him. Why not? It's the year 941. And her, maybe not. Anyways, back to the video. Thanks for your like and subscription. It helps me out more than you can ever imagine. And for my court position, I'm gonna try and hire an antiquarian. Pretty much anybody will do. I really don't care. And what we'll do is we'll constantly be commissioning artifacts. These don't have to be amazing artifacts. They just have to be artifacts. And you'll see why in just a little bit. It's actually gonna be super important. Oh, and our other lover is pregnant again. We're gonna be starting to pump out the kids here. And it looks like we've had a daughter. You'll love to see it. And she's got the giant trait. That's absolutely sick. And again, with these daughters, I'm going to make sure they're going down the martial education, whether they like it or not. Okay, and you join us about 18 years later. She's all grown up, and she's got 11 prowess. And the only problem with that is if I wanted to make her a ShieldMaiden, she would need 12 prowess. But now you'll see why I've been commissioning all these artifacts. I'm gonna go ahead and gift her an artifact. One of these terrible weapons, like this fine sword. It just gives you 4 prowess. I'll gift her this. She'll pretty much immediately equip it, which will bring her to 15 prowess, and I can now make her a ShieldMaiden. And in making her a ShieldMaiden, that'll give her even more prowess and even more martial. Perfect. And she's even better now, and she's serving as our knight. You love to see it. All right, so I gotta show you this. Our daughter has just turned 20, and that means we can now go ahead and seduce her. And the reason I'm gonna go do that is because she has all these phenomenal traits inherited from yours truly. It's gotta be done. It's to secure my line. It's to secure world domination. I have to do it. Yeah. Haha. We just had a daughter. Our daughter and granddaughter. You can work that one out. But she's an Amazonia giant and fecund. That's perfect. That'll keep the line going. Okay, so you rejoin us in the year 1009. So we're at a pretty interesting point in our history right now. We're about 50 years away from being in the high medieval era. The keen observers among you might notice this, that the culture down here is not Bigfoot culture, it's Butr. Bruh. And as you can see, the development for this culture is piss poor. It's at like 5. But what you'll notice now, though, is I can't upgrade these buildings because the Butr culture does not have these innovations. So what I'm gonna have to do is convert these to my culture and then build all those buildings, get my massive amount of knights, employ my children as those knights, and take over the world. Okay, so big plan there. How do we do that? Well, you see, if I wanted to promote the culture in one of these counties, it's saying it'll take me 8 years. Now, if I wanted to speed that up, what I could do is change my culture to be a hybrid culture with the existing culture that's here. So the first thing I'm gonna do is take my steward and put him on promoting cultural acceptance down here. So you join us back in the lovely year 1040. And we finally hit 40% acceptance, allowing us to form a hybrid culture. Now, this is the evolution of our Bigfoot culture. And you know what they say about men with big feet? They wear big socks. Perfect. Oh, and Ottawans and Ottawas, wouldn't you look, it's the year 1089, so we've had a chance to painstakingly do all kinds of things. Let me catch you up on where we're at. In terms of our innovation, we researched some technologies. Namely, we got windmills, which will allow us to unlock all economic era buildings. So that means we can upgrade our temples. We got hoardings, so we can upgrade all our castles, and we're about to get castle bailies, which will allow us to upgrade all our military buildings. Which means we can upgrade our famous camelries and proceed to completely break the game. I'm then gonna make sure we get knighthood so that our knight effectiveness is even higher. Now, we've had quite the assortment of children here. Let me take you through a couple of the highlights. We have Johnetta the Tiny, our daughter, granddaughter, great-granddaughter, bleh. Our daughter, granddaughter, great-granddaughter. I can't even talk, eh?
Sorry, that was fun.
That's okay. Our daughter, granddaughter, great-granddaughter, and honorable altruist. She happens to be a bastard dwarf Amazonian. She's already got 14 prowess at 14 years old. That's stronger than most full-grown men at this time. We have Gervais the Defecto over here, a good bastard inbred fecund boy. And how could I forget Quasimotia? She's a nice hunchback Amazonian giant who is also fecund. So I'm sure we'll be having some kids with her somewhere down the line. It's so messed up, bro. And I'm also going to go ahead and start promoting our culture down here. And you'll notice if I want to convert a county, it's only going to take me 4 years. This culture is a parent culture of our current one, so it makes it so much faster. So yeah, I'll let you know how this goes. Okay, so we've gone ahead and converted a handful of counties to our culture. I'm gonna go ahead and start building buildings that will give me upgraded knights. All right, so I'm gonna go do those round of investments and I'll be right back. Okay, so it's been about 80 years since we last checked in, and we are finally at 100 knights. And if you take a look, each and every one of them are related to me. We've had over 200 children at this point. Half of them died, but that's here nor there. And we're making 75 knights from our domain. If you also take a look at this page here, you'll see that our knight effectiveness is at 671%.
Wow.
Like, this is so broken. I expect them to patch this so soon. You'll see I deleted all my men-at-arms in lieu for 2 trebuchets because basically knights are terrible at sieging. That's the only thing they're terrible at. But we'll be able to absolutely slaughter everyone around us. So let's take a look at all our buildings here, and you're gonna see it's actually overpowered. Every one of our holdings, and including our temple holdings, has a level 6 camelry. So each one gives us plus 3 knights and plus 5% knight effectiveness. And then if you look at our duchy capitals, for example, here and here, these are my money makers. We have a level 2 military academy, which gives you plus 4 knights and plus 50% knight effectiveness. Not only that, but we also have the camelry. So that's 7 knights from 1 holding. So I've also been maxing out my court grandeur. At level 1, we'll get plus 10% knight effectiveness, and at level 2, we'll get plus 4 knights. Not to mention, we went up the gallant tree here, picked up chivalric dominance and household soldiers, giving us 4 knights and plus 75% knight effectiveness. And the last thing you should know that I did during this whole long thing is that every 50 years or so, I would sub out one of these traditions to make my ideal big sock culture. He's got a big sock. So as you already know, we picked up Performative Honor, but I also picked up Martial Admiration, giving us +2 knights, Only the Strong, giving us +2 knights and plus 100% knight effectiveness, and finally, Warriors by Merit, which allow most of our restrictions on who can be a knight to be lifted for any character with 10 prowess or more, which is pretty much why all our kids can be knights. So I'm going to diverge the culture one more time, because we need the By the Sword tradition, which allows you to declare an unlimited number of holy wars, which is the last thing we'll need to leverage our army of 100 inbred bastards and assure world domination. And obviously we need a good name for this culture, and you know what they say about men with big socks? They wear big shoes. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here all week, don't worry about it. So we've got our army, and now it's time we launch Crusade and a bunch of holy wars to take over the planet. We fulfill all of these decisions here to launch a crusade, and let's go ahead and do it. This is not a time for contemplation and tolerance. Deus Vult. Now, naturally the game wants you to fight for the Kingdom of Syria. It's only logical. But we're the anti-pope, and we're not going to be fighting for the Kingdom of Syria. So I'm simply going to redirect this for Croatia. And I already hear the gears spinning. Ottawa, why the hell are you going to declare war against Croatia? Well, for historical reasons, of course. So it's time for our brand new segment. People correct Ottawa's historical knowledge at length in the comment section. It's got a catchy name. Where I give a super short description of my knowledge of the history, and then anybody who knows anything about history will write a thesis in the comment section about every minute detail I got wrong. Are you ready? Also, if you want to skip this little 2-minute section, the timestamp's on screen right now. So the Pope back in the day, the real one, the one with good intentions, unlike somebody, around 1200 was like, we're gonna take back the Holy Land from these Muslim dudes we don't like very much. We're gonna go through Egypt, get our hands on those tasty, tasty special buildings and holdings, and oh, that good grain. And then we're gonna head on up to Jerusalem. We'll take that back, easy peasy. I know we couldn't do it 3 other times before, but this time's gonna work. So he sends out word far and wide. He gets like 35,000 dudes. So they go to the Venetians and are like, hey, you guys, you're good with boat. Build me some boats. We'll get all the boys down to Egypt and we'll pay you. So Venetians do that, but it takes them like a year to build. But by that time, the armies found other ways to Egypt. So by this point, there's 12k Crusaders left in Venice trying to pay for transport for 35,000 people. And the Venetians are like, okay, we're not giving you these ships for almost free. But, you know, we were thinking about it, and if you go sack this city in Hungary that we don't really like, we'll make sure you get where you need to go. Like, don't worry about it after that. And the Pope hears about this and is like, yo, for real, do not do that. They're Catholic, eyes on the prize, we gotta go kill these Muslims, get the Holy Land back. But they straight up ignore him and burn Zara to the ground. So the Pope at this time is hella mad and straight up excommunicates these guys. And it's like, yo, get your ass to Jerusalem, we gotta get this done. But at the same time, this guy Alexios IV, who was ousted as Emperor of Byzantium, comes up to them. And he goes, hey yo, since you guys love killing so much, maybe for a little gold, you know, you could do some killing for me. Install me back on my throne, you'll be paid handsomely. So they accept.
Oh boy, here I go killing again.
And they do it. They sail down to Constantinople and put this guy on the throne. But after just a little while, riots break out among the people, and this guy gets beheaded. Who's gonna pay us for this? And they insist his successor, Alexio V, because originality, they insist that he pay for their services. And he's like, I'm not doing that. So they sack Constantinople, like burn it to the ground. And all the people there are like, but I thought we were friends. Isn't the Muslims the enemy? Like, why? And they're like, nah, dude. And as a result of all this, the Pope's standing there, missing all these guys he needs, and loses the war to the Muslims. Talk about a big rip, bro. So historically, around this time period, the Pope didn't want to declare war on Croatia at all. Hell, he didn't even want Constantinople. He wanted the Holy Land. So we're gonna do the exact opposite. The time has finally come to bring St. George's holy wrath against the vile heathens of Croatia. He is bold, let's do it. She looks scared.
I am so scared. Help me.
And look at all my children, all the live ones at least. Oh, their beautiful, beautiful Crusader garb. You love to see it. Oh my days. Okay, and we gotta make sure that we're leading this army. Let's go ahead and do it. Oh, look at Pope Big Richard. He's glorious. Your mace is the wrong way, bud. Go ahead and flip that around for you. Oh, there you go. He's glorious. I'm gonna peel off everybody that's not a knight into one army. Okay, so this army of 100 guys is just knights. Look at them all. Oh, perfect. I'm gonna take my knight-based army and try and kill these 1,800 dudes. Okay, I couldn't catch the 1800 stack, but I can catch this 10,000 stack. Let's see how this battle goes. Here is the big battle. We stack wiped 10k dudes. This army of 100 inbred bastards is unstoppable. This is so stupid. I'm gonna see if I can't catch this 4,000 stack. Surely we'll win this battle. Oh, bro. And we've achieved victory. St. George is with us, baby. And next up in Big Richard's evil plan is to sack Constantinople. I don't have any reason to declare war, and I mean, why would I? These guys are simply my peaceful Orthodox neighbors. But what I can do is go over and buy a claim, and we just want the county of Byzantion, naturally. And now I'm gonna raise only the best of the brightest, only my men-at-arms, which will be comprised of just knights and trebuchets. And let's see if we can take on this army of 30,000 dudes. I'm gonna send the boys right in, and we'll see how she goes. Here they come with 30,000 guys. And we captured the Emperor. Oh boy. 30,000 stack wipe. Dude, these guys are so overpowered. Now we can enforce the demands, and Constantinople is ours. Can you believe it? And now I think it's time we restore the Holy Land. So let's turn our sight over to Egypt. Let's grab this sheikdom of Jerusalem. Oh, and our son died of heart failure. You hate to see it, but he was a good lad. That's what happens when you're a comfort-eating drunk. Oh, and our other son's pissed off, this little scaly boy. Oh, and this daughter died from stress. I guess she was stressed out because my other son died. And this guy died from stress too. What is happening right now? This daughter too, bruh. No, no. Does it ever end? Oh my God, no.
A few moments later.
Oh my God, they just keep dying. No, what is going on? Do I just need an auto clicker at this point? This is ridiculous. Oh my God. Basically, how this game works is that if your family member dies, you get stressed. But you can also die from stress. Eventually, you can hit the cyclical point of everybody dying from stress, causing other people to die from stress. And that's what's happening right now. Mental break, torrential grief. Yeah, no kidding, bro. And if you take a look, we only have 29 knights left. Oh, they were absolutely decimated. Children, oh my God, they're all dead.
I killed them all. They're dead. And not just the men, but the women. And the children, too.
And what a dynasty we have made. I'll tell you what, it's not a very tall dynasty. It's a very wide dynasty. I think that's it from Big Richard, from me to you. Thank you. And if I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
The Ottawa Welshman is CK3, man, I'm the king of this land. If you want renown, well, I got it. The way I run my house, you know you want it. Got 1,000 sons, all named John. They probably don't know that their cousin is the mom. Tutorials play through, speed runs to win. No challenge too great for the Ottawa Welshman.